My wife insisted we move closer to her family, so she could feel supported. I gave up my dream job and bought a house near her parents. 6 months later, I discovered she was sleeping with her high school ex, who lived 2 streets away. When I asked why, she shrugged and said, "You're just too boring for this town." I quietly sold the house, quit my job, and moved across the country, leaving her to explain to her family why she was suddenly homeless. I'm not the kind of guy who tells stories like this. I keep to myself. I work hard, I take care of what's mine, and I don't go looking for trouble. I was raised that way, old school, small-town values, shake a man's hand and mean it. That kind of thing. But some betrayals cut so deep, they turn you into someone you barely recognize. I think that's what happened to me. My name doesn't matter. Let's just say I'm a guy who used to believe in doing the right thing, even when it hurt. Especially when it hurt. I met Megan in Boise. We were both in our late 20s, working full-time. She was doing admin work at a dental office. I was managing construction projects for a local firm. We met through mutual friends at a barbecue, and I remember being drawn to her because she was sharp. Funny. Confident. She had this way of talking like she already knew what she wanted in life. It made me feel steady, like being around her gave me purpose. We dated for 2 years, moved in together, got married the next spring in a courthouse ceremony. Nothing fancy. We didn't have a ton of money, but we made it work. Life was good. Quiet, but good. I wasn't chasing big dreams, just wanted a simple life, build something, maybe start a family someday. Turns out, Megan had different plans. It started with her mom's heart issue. Nothing too serious, but it rattled Megan bad. She got clingy with her family again. Her sister in Colombia, her nieces and nephews, even her high school friends. She started talking about roots and connection and how Idaho just didn't feel like home. At first I brushed it off. Everyone gets homesick sometimes. But the talk got louder. She brought it up during dinner. In bed. On walks. Her parents would call and drop hints, like, "We just wish we saw more of you too," or, "It's hard not having our girls nearby." Her sister once said, "Megan cries after family Zoom calls. She won't tell you, but she's hurting." It got to me. I started to feel like I was keeping her from something she needed. Like I was the selfish one. Then she hit me with the big one. "If you really love me," she said, "why wouldn't you want me to feel supported?" She knew exactly what she was doing. And I fell for it. I sold the house I'd poured years into. We'd put in sweat equity, late nights fixing up the kitchen, replacing the siding ourselves. I gave that up. Took a job in Colombia with less pay, fewer benefits. I told myself I'd adjust. That it was temporary. We bought a small place near her parents' subdivision. A 1-story ranch that needed work. I used nearly everything we made from the Boise sale as the down payment, and paid for the rest outright. Megan didn't put in a cent. She said her money was tied up helping her parents with medical bills. I didn't push it. At first, she seemed grateful. She baked more. Smiled more. Held my hand when we walked around the block. Her family came by almost daily, dropping off casseroles, offering decorating advice, that kind of thing. But by the 4th month, I started noticing cracks. She stopped making dinner. Started working late at her new job as a dental assistant, which somehow involved a lot of late nights at bars with coworkers. Her phone was always on silent. She kept it in her pocket at all times, even in the shower. One night I walked past her in the living room and she slammed her laptop shut like she was hiding a damn crime scene. I should have said something sooner. But I didn't want to seem jealous or paranoid. I convinced myself I was imagining it. I told myself, she just needs time to adjust. I kept waiting for her to come back to me. Instead, she went back to him. I came home early from work one Tuesday. Wasn't planned. Job site shut down early due to rain. Her car was in the driveway. I walked in expecting her to be watching TV or folding laundry. Instead, the place was quiet. I mean dead quiet. I walked upstairs. Bedroom door cracked open just enough for me to hear it. Her voice. Soft. Laughing. Then his. Lower. Familiar. I pushed the door open. There she was. Megan. Naked. Straddling a guy I didn't recognize at first, until he looked up. Broad shoulders. Crooked smile. Tattoo on his chest. Adam Langston. Her high school boyfriend. The guy she used to joke about. The one she never really got over. They both froze. He didn't look guilty. Just annoyed. She scrambled off him, grabbing a blanket. "What the hell are you doing home?" she said, like I was the one out of line. I didn't say anything at first. I just looked at her. Then at him. Then back at her. "You have any idea what I gave up for you?" That's when she shrugged. Shrugged. "I told you," she said. "You're just too boring for this town." I walked out. Drove for 2 hours. Parked in some Walmart lot and sat in silence. Thought about putting my fist through the windshield. Instead, I sat still. Let the anger settle deep in my bones. I didn't sleep much that night. But by morning, I had a plan. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to destroy her world like she destroyed mine. I went home the next morning before she was up. Her car was there. His wasn't. I made coffee. Sat at the kitchen table like it was any other day. When she finally walked in, hair a mess, wearing my old college sweatshirt, she looked at me like I was the one who cheated. "You're still here?" she said. I didn't answer. Just sipped my coffee and said, "We should probably go to counseling." She blinked. "What?" "I want to fix this," I said. "If you do too." She narrowed her eyes, trying to read me. But she was lazy when it came to real effort. The moment she thought I'd let it go, she relaxed. Said she'd think about it. That's when the real work started. I moved into the guest room. Told her I needed space. She didn't fight it, she liked the freedom. I stopped asking where she was going. Stopped checking her phone. Let her think I was checked out. While she was out, getting drinks or running errands, I was in the basement, boxing up old photos and valuables. I rented a storage unit on the edge of town under a fake name. I started transferring money out of our joint account, a few hundred at a time. Nothing big enough to raise suspicion. I canceled all the automatic payments in my name and started paying things in cash. I contacted a realtor in secret. Told him I was looking to sell fast. He came by while Megan was at her sister's. Took photos. I priced it low enough to guarantee a quick sale, below market, but not suspiciously low. It hit the market on a Thursday. By Sunday, we had a buyer. Cash. No inspection. Closing in 3 weeks. She didn't have a clue. At the same time, I was job hunting like a man possessed. Nights, weekends, lunch breaks. I applied to over 50 positions across the country. Got a few nibbles, then one offer in Asheville, North Carolina, remote project manager, flexible hours, salary almost double what I was making in Missouri. I accepted on the spot. I never told Megan. Instead, I played the role of the sad husband who still wanted to make it work. I even brought up therapy again, just to keep her off guard. She agreed half-heartedly, then ghosted the counselor after one session. 2 days before closing, I finished packing everything I cared about. Sold what I didn't. Hauled it all to the storage unit. Left just enough furniture in the house to make it look lived in for the final walkthrough. Then I made one last move. I went to the bank and emptied our joint savings. She never noticed, she'd stopped looking. The only thing I left in the account was $84 and some change. Friday morning, I left before sunrise. Didn't leave a note. Didn't text. I drove east for 2 days. Pulled into Asheville with a truck full of memories and a heart full of rage. Meanwhile, Megan came home to a house that wasn't hers anymore. I'd already changed the locks. The power was shut off. Mail was redirected. The realtor handled the rest. When she called, I ignored it. When she texted, I blocked her. When her sister left me a voicemail calling me a pathetic coward, I laughed. But here's the twist I didn't expect. 2 weeks after I got settled in Asheville, I got a call from Megan's dad. I didn't answer at first. Let it go to voicemail. But something made me listen. He sounded different. Defeated. Not angry. He said Megan had been going through something, and he wasn't sure what anymore. She lost her job. Started drinking too much. Adam had dumped her the night after I disappeared. Apparently, he didn't want to be involved in whatever drama this was. She'd been lying to him, too, told him we were already separated. Her parents took her in, but it wasn't going well. Her mom was furious. Her sister wouldn't speak to her. The whole family found out what she did, and none of them had her back. He said, "I don't blame you for leaving. I just wish you'd told me before you sold the house." That hit me harder than I thought it would. But I didn't call him back. I didn't call any of them back. Because the truth was, I'd already said goodbye. A month passed. I thought that was it, that Megan would fade into the background of my life, just another painful memory. But the thing about burning someone's world down is this: sometimes, they come crawling through the ashes. I was at a bar in Asheville one Friday night, nursing a beer and watching a college game on the screen above the bar, when my phone buzzed. It was an unfamiliar number. I let it go to voicemail. Later, in the truck, I played it. It was her. Her voice was hoarse, like she'd been crying or drinking, or both. "You win," she said. "You got what you wanted. I hope you're happy. Just tell me, where the hell am I supposed to go now?" Then she hung up. A week later, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a photocopy of divorce papers. No lawyer listed. Just her handwriting on the back of one page: "You broke something in me. I hope it was worth it." I didn't reply. But she wasn't done. She started reaching out to my old co-workers in Boise. Then friends. My cousin. My mother, who I hadn't spoken to in over a year. She told them I abandoned her. Said I left her homeless, jobless, suicidal. That I took everything and left her with nothing but shame. Some of them believed her. Some didn't. I got texts from people I hadn't heard from in years. Some asking if I was okay. Some demanding to know what kind of man would do that to his wife. I stayed silent. Then she got clever. She started leaving reviews, false ones, about my new company. Said I was a scammer. A fraud. Tried to ruin my reputation before I even got my feet under me. I had to call the company's legal team. Show proof of who I was and what I'd been through. They stood by me, but it was a close call. That's when I realized something: Megan didn't want me back. She didn't miss me. What she hated, what she couldn't forgive, was that I'd taken control. That I'd ended her story before she could write the ending. So I decided to write more of my own. I contacted a lawyer in Missouri. Started the divorce on my terms. Listed abandonment and infidelity as cause. I provided copies of text messages, timelines, bank statements. I made sure everything was above board. Then I sent her a certified letter to her parents' address, letting her know she'd be served in 2 days. She didn't respond to that, either. But a few days later, I got a call from her mother. She was crying. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know it was this bad." Apparently Megan had been spiraling, staying out all night, bringing strange men home, yelling at her nieces, fighting with her sister, drinking in the middle of the day. Her parents tried to set rules, but she accused them of choosing him over me. Then she packed a bag and left. No one had seen her since. Her mom begged me to reach out. I didn't. Because what none of them understood was this: I already tried. I gave her my best years. I gave her a new home, a fresh start, a future. And she burned it down for a man who didn't even stick around after the ashes cooled. But I'll admit something here I won't admit to anyone else: I do check the Columbia police blotter once in a while. Just to see if her name shows up. So far, it hasn't. It was nearly a year after I left when I got the final email. A lawyer in Columbia. She'd finally responded to the divorce filing, but not to contest it. She'd signed. No demands. No alimony. No property to divide. Just one sentence typed at the bottom of the scanned document: "Do whatever you want. I'm done." That was it. After everything, after the lies, the cheating, the chaos, she gave up. And it should have felt like a win. It should have been satisfying. But I just sat there, staring at the screen, feeling hollow. Because here's the truth I hadn't said out loud yet: I'd made mistakes too. Not for leaving. Not for exposing her lies. But for staying silent when I knew she was cheating. For letting it rot inside me while I played the long game. For becoming someone who could lie to her face for weeks, while quietly tearing her life apart. I told myself it was justice. But it was revenge. And revenge doesn't leave you clean. It just makes you better at hiding your damage. The divorce went through without a hitch. I never saw her again. Her social media accounts went dark. Mutual friends stopped mentioning her. It was like she vanished. But then one day, late summer, humid as hell, I got a letter. No name, no return address. But I knew the handwriting. It was hers. Inside was a single photo. Us. From Boise. Sitting on the back porch, drinking coffee in lawn chairs. My arm around her. She was laughing. I was smiling. On the back, she'd written, "This was the only time I felt safe. I ruined it. I know that now." That was all. I didn't cry. I didn't call. I burned the photo in the fire pit out back, then poured myself a drink and watched the flames until they were just orange coals. I could lie to you and say I never think about her anymore. But some nights, when the wind is still and the world is too quiet, I do. I think about what she said when I caught her with Adam, that I was too boring for this town. And I wonder if she ever figured out that boring men don't always stay boring. Sometimes, they just wait. And when the time is right, they burn your life down with the same steady hands they once used to build it.